Iguazu Falls or Iguazu Falls are waterfalls of the Iguazu River on the border of the Argentine province of Misiones and the Brazilian state of Parana. Together, they make up the largest waterfall system in the world. The falls divide the river into the upper and lower Iguazu. The Iguazu River rises near the heart of the city of Curitiba. For most of its course, the river flows through Brazil. However, most of the falls are on the Argentine side. Below its confluence with the San Antonio River, the Iguazu River forms the border between Argentina and Brazil. About half of the river's flow falls into a long and narrow chasm called the Devil's Throat. The Devil's Throat Canyon is 80 to 90 m wide and 70 to 80 m deep. Left of this canyon, another part of the river forms 160 to 200 individual falls, which merge into a single front during flood stage. The largest falls are named San Martin, Adam and Eva, Peroni, and Bergamo. Legend has it that a deity planned to marry a beautiful woman named Naipe, who fled with her mortal lover Taroba in a canoe. In a rage, the deity sliced the river, creating the waterfalls and condemning the lovers to an eternal fall. Location of Iguazu Falls. The Iguazu Falls are in the continent of South America, and as we mentioned, it is shared by two countries, Argentina and Brazil. Although Paraguay is nearby, it only shares the river that Iguazu Falls feeds, but it is quite far from the falls and cannot even be seen from there. The city in Argentina where the Iguazu Falls are located is called Puerto Iguazu, and in Brazil it is called Foz do Iguazu. Iguazu Falls on the Argentine side are located 18 kilometers from Puerto Iguazu and 29 kilometers from the center of Foz do Iguazu. Iguazu Falls on the Brazilian side are 27 kilometers from Puerto Iguazu and 29 kilometers from downtown Foz do Iguazu. Both cities are very close to each national park. That is why all the excursions that we offer on both sides of the falls can pick up from any hotel in both destinations. Geology and geography. The staircase character of the falls consists of a two-step waterfall formed by 3 layers of basalt. The steps are 35 and 40 meters in height. The columnar basalt rock sequences are part of the 1,000-meter thick Serra Joel formation within the Paleozoic-Mesozoic Parana Basin. The tops of these sequences are characterized by 8–10 m of highly resistant vesicular basalt, and the contact between these layers controls the shape of the falls. Tourism. Aerolíneas Argentines has direct flights from Buenos Aires to Iguazu International Airport. Azul, GOL, and LATAM Brazil offer services from main Brazilian cities to Foz do Iguaçu. Access. The falls may be reached from 2 main towns, with one on either side of the falls. Foz do Iguaçu in Brazil and Puerto Iguazu in Argentina, as well as from Ciudad del Este, Paraguay, on the other side of the Parana River from Foz do Iguaçu, each of those 3 cities having commercial airports. Climate. The Iguazu Falls experience a humid subtropical climate with abundant precipitation and high temperatures year-round. During the summer of 2006, a severe drought caused the Iguazu River to become diminished, reducing the amount of water flowing over the falls to 300 cubic meters per second until early December. This was unusual, as dry periods normally last only a few weeks. The period with the greatest volume of water flowing over the falls is usually December to February, coinciding with one of the periods of greatest rainfall. History of Iguazu Falls. The first European to record the existence of the falls was the Spanish conquistador Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca in 1541. But before this place was what we know nowadays, it had a curious story. The origin of the name Iguazu comes from the Maya Guarani indigenous people, who in the translation into our Spanish, would remain as Agua Grande, big water. Later, the first Jesuit missions arrived, which made up more than 30 towns distributed in southern Paraguay, Brazil, and the entire province of Misiones. After this, by 1768, the Jesuits would be expelled by the Crown of Spain and the place would be forgotten. Some time later, Gregorio Lizoma, an Argentine businessman and politician, would sell the land because he considered it of low value. These lands was acquired by Domingo Ayaragaray in 1907, who would discover the tourist potential of the place, setting up the first hotel. In 1984, UNESCO declared the Iguazu National Park as World Heritage. In 2011, the New Seven Wonders Foundation declared it New Wonder of the World. And finally, in 2013, UNESCO again declared the Iguazu National Park as Exceptional Universal Value. National parks in Iguazu Falls. The falls are shared by the Iguazu National Park and Iguacu National Park. The two parks were designated UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 1984 and 1986, respectively. Iguazu Falls on the Argentine side has the largest tourist portion of the national park. However, in size it is still much smaller than the Brazilian side, since there are 67,720 hectares here. Iguazu National Park on the Argentine side opens from 8 a.m. at 6 p.m. But you can only enter the park until 4:30 p.m. During Christmas and New Year's, the Argentine park has the same hours as always, there is no change. The Brazilian National Park is a smaller park than the Argentine side. It consists of a single circuit of approximately 1,500 meters. But a fundamental difference with respect to the Argentine side is that during all that journey you will have a constant panoramic view of the Iguazu Falls, which allows you to appreciate it from many angles. The vegetation of the region is rich and varied, ranging from semi-deciduous to tropical, and has been a focus of botanical interest. Water plants include a family that grows only in rushing water and is found on the ledges of the falls. Contrasts are also abundant, with orchids growing next to pines, bamboos next to palm trees, and mosses next to lianas and colorful begonias. Wildlife in Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls is the home of a great variety of animal life that cannot be found anywhere else. On your visit to both national parks, it is very easy to find coatis, and small four-legged and long-tailed animals that roam the area in search of food that visitors usually give them. Another animal that you will easily see is the toucan. In addition to the toucan, there are many bird species that you can see throughout the tour. If you are interested in bird watching and want to do it during your visit, do not hesitate to see our bird watching tour in Iguazu. Although a little more difficult, another animal that can be seen is the monkey cai, small animals that hang around the park in a group. In the same way, they approach tourists in the hope of obtaining a snack, but you should not give them any type of food. Other animals present in the area, but not possible to see in the park, is the jaguarite, a feline that is currently in danger of extinction. Naturally, it is difficult to see it in the park since they always get away from people. The tapir is another animal that can also be seen in this area. This animal is one of the largest mammals in Latin America, although it is quite difficult to locate it. As revealed by DNA analysis, the closest living relative to the whale is the hippopotamus. Animal life is equally varied and abundant but has been much less studied. Iguanas are a common sight. Among the mammals are several members of the cat family, deer, tapir, and innumerable smaller animals. Toucans and birds of many other varieties are also to be found. Fish include the dorado, mandy, and cascade. The climate in the Iguazu Falls is typical of the humid and hot. Obviously, depending on the season, it can be more or less hot, but in general it is a destination to go with comfortable and light clothing. Don't forget to bring sunscreen and mosquito repellent. The rate of flow of the falls may rise to a maximum of 450,000 cubic feet per second during the rainy season from November to March. Minimum flow occurs during the dry season from August to October. The mean annual rate of flow is about 62,000 cubic feet per second.